Okay, it looks like it's about 3:30 start time for our second TILO Presents session. And welcome to our second Google Hangouts on Air presentation. I'm Carrie Rassak. I am the integration specialist at Rossford Schools, which is Northwest Ohio area near Toledo. And I will be the moderator for today's session. And I am very glad that you can join us, those of you that are able to make it live here. And for those of you that cannot make it live, this will be recorded. And we will have the recording available on the Google community, the TILO community, as well as on the YouTube page for TILOhio. Okay, so for today's session, Jen Bengele will be presenting on accessibility tools. And she estimates it's going to be about 30 to 40 minutes. And again, there'll be time for Q&A at the end if you have questions. And I will go through that in a moment about submitting and so forth. Okay, just double checking the comments there. If you are new to the Google Hangouts on Air, those of you doing it live right now, we do have a couple opportunities for you to participate. There's a chat button on the left side. Upper left, the blue quote box. You can click on that to chat with other participants if that's available to you. And also a Q&A available on the right side of your screen as well. I think actually you shouldn't have the chat, but you will have the Q&A to participate. So if you just want to leave a question for Jen to answer later in her presentation, or you can put those questions in as things come up and even click on the +1 symbol to have those questions go up to the top or be a higher priority to be answered. Okay, so another reminder that this will be recorded and it will be available on YouTube and Google+. I know a couple people mentioned before that they could not access Google Community or Google+ at their school. So hopefully you'll be able to view a recording or see it on YouTube. Okay. So without any further delay, I want to move on to the presentation, and I will let Jen introduce herself, and I will be kind of just stepping out and chiming in as needed and monitoring the questions. Go ahead, Jen.
Thank you, Carrie. I'm Jennifer Bengele. I'm the Technology Integration Specialist at Vermilion Local Schools. We have about 1,900 students, K through 12, with in 3 buildings. We have a K through 3, a 4 through 7, and an 8 through 12. And we are in Erie County, right on the lake, right between Sandusky and Lorain. We have been one-to-one, just to give you a little bit of background about the district. We've been one-to-one with MacBook laptops for going on 7 years. We also have a mixture of iPads with the laptops in the elementary building. And so we are very technology rich, and my goal is to help support our teachers in using that effectively to help our students grow. So we are going to talk all today about accessibility tools, most of which are going to be Chrome extensions. I know a large majority of technology integration specialists in the districts that they come from are using Chromebooks. And so we will mostly focus on those Chrome extensions that will assist our students in accessing information, focus a lot on tools that assist with reading. So I'm going to go ahead and screen share my screen. Carrie, are you seeing my screen okay now?
Yeah, yep, okay. Looks good.
All right, so most of what I'm going to show you, again, can be found at the Chrome Web Store. And Carrie and I, at the end of this webinar, will share with you a link to a shared spreadsheet in Google Sheets, just listing all of the tools that I'm showcasing, what they do, like a brief description of what they do and where to access those, so the URL from the Chrome Web Store. And so what I did is I'm just going to show you with this Edutopia article I found about next week's International Hour of Code Week and how to get the word out about that. So what I'm going to do is show you how to use all of these tools with this article. And the first one I'm going to show you is a highlight to search. Again, that's in the Chrome Web Store. It's a Chrome extension. These are extension apps or any apps that manipulate the working of your browser. And so here's an article. I'm just going to highlight computer, for example, and you'll see right beneath my cursor there's a little magnifying glass icon that appears. When I select that, it will do an automatic search for computer or anything computer related. So it's just a way that students can quickly look up the meaning of a word, for example, that they might stumble upon and not know. So that's one of the tools that's called Highlight to Search. And again, I provide the URL to all of these that I am showing. The next one, if you notice, there's a number of these extension apps that will, when they're installed, will show in your Chrome toolbar up here. And the first one that I'm going to show from the toolbar is my Readability extension. And actually the first couple are going to manipulate an online article to streamline it and remove any of the extra clutter. So you've got extra links and images, you might have a couple of videos. So what I'm going to do is simply click on this Readability. Again, this is found in the Chrome Web Store. And you can choose to read it later and have it sent to you via email. For the purpose of us showing it right now, I'm just going to go ahead and click Read Now. And in just a few moments, it takes that article and it increases the size of the font. It also, again, streamlines it and removes any of that extraneous material that might distract our younger readers to just focus on the text. And you can further manipulate it from some of these options over here. You can change the lighting, the background, the size of the font, etc. Another tool, if you notice, once I streamlined this article using Readability, in my URL box there is a super simple highlighter. And what I can do with that is if I feel there's any areas of the article that are very, very important, I can go up here to my URL bar and click on my highlighter. And or I could access it down here as well. And it highlights in green, which is the color I selected. You can actually also go into your little hamburger in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. And when you go to More Tools and you go into Extensions, what it should do is it should take you to, here's my simple super highlighter. Oops, that's not what I wanted. It will save these pieces of information that you highlight. Let me try that again. Okay, so once I access from my little hamburger bar up there, and I go to More Tools and Extensions, once I select my super simple highlighter tool and I go to Options, it will allow you to select the color highlighter you want, but there's also this option here to go to Pages, and the area that I had highlighted is still here attached as a URL. So again, just some reading options for our students. So let's go ahead and show you a similar one to Readability. Right next to it, in the little desk lamp there's an app extension called Clearly. Going to go ahead and select that. Again, what Clearly does, similar to Readability, is that it streamlines the online article to remove extra information. It will not automatically increase the size of the font, but you can do that in the options over in the right-hand column that appear. You can also highlight. There's an inbuilt highlighter as well to clearly, and then you can post it to Evernote if you have an Evernote account. Again, just another option for streamlining online articles. And we can always return to the original article as well. And then Magic Scroll is a really neat tool, similar to Readability and Clearly, in that it takes the article and it does streamline it, but it makes it look more like a book, an online book that you can read. And you'll notice there's a little scroll line right here. And what it will do is it will actually allow you to move that. So if you have students that have a hard time staying on a certain line, you move the, sorry, give me one moment. I have to move locations here. Sorry, folks, temporary delay. My principal has a building leadership team meeting in the room that I was in, so I'm just moving and making sure that I'm plugging in. Okay, so again, we're on Magic Scroll, and it's great for the students that have a hard time keeping track of where they are reading on an online site. All right, you can also control font size and the color of the background, and then I'm just going to revert it back to the original article here. So far we've just covered Readability, Clearly, and Magic Scroll. We're going to talk a little bit about two apps that do similar functions. One's an extension, and the other one is a bookmark. And one is called Spreed. Spreed, what it does is it actually takes an article and it will, this is based on eye movement research, it will actually read the article for you, or allow you to read it one word at a time, which increases efficiency of reading. Again, right now, this speed might be a little bit faster for our struggling readers. So the nice thing about Spreed is that you can decrease the words per minute and make it actually really, really, really slow. Or for your students who are trying to increase their efficiency and learn to read a little bit faster, you can also increase it up quite a ways. And you can also vary the font and so forth. So that is, again, a free extension that you would find through the Chrome Web Store called Spreed. There's also a bookmark called Spritzlet that does the same thing. So I'm going to just stop this right here and show you. Oops. So again, all of these tools I've provided URLs for in the shared document that Carrie and I will be showing you at the conclusion of this webinar. But if you see, once you install it, it appears right here in your bookmark. And I'm going to just go back to our article and click on Spritzlet, my bookmark, and it does essentially the same thing. It's a little more difficult to manipulate the words per minute. And I don't think it doesn't have the range of words per minute that Spreed does. But again, just a quick way to read a little bit more efficiently. All right, the next couple extensions are SpeakIt and Click-to-Speech, and these will actually convert text-to-speech for our students. So in the first one, SpeakIt, you actually have to highlight the area of text that you want read. And I know you probably can't hear that right now because I'm using my headphones to kind of drown out some background noise. But you can actually go into SpeakIt, and you can also vary the speaking rate, the volume level, and there's a large variety of different voices. I have a student at the high school who prefers a British voice over an English one, so that is all available there as well. And what you can actually do as well is you could click on readability or clearly, and then go ahead and pick one of these text-to-speech options, and it will really help students with their reading. The other one, besides SpeakIt, is it's called click-to-speech. And so this one is a little bit, I would say, more user-friendly, maybe for some younger students. It simply has either a turn on or turn off. And as soon as I turn on, again, anything that gets highlighted will be read. And then I just simply click the click to speak, and it will read me the selected page. So just some different options. The click to speech is a little bit, again, more user-friendly, especially for some younger students. And the pronunciation seems to be a little bit more accurate with that one as well. Some of the other apps, the rest of the apps are apps that are going to manipulate the look of your online article or your website that you're viewing. So for example, the next one I'm going to show you, and I'm going to go ahead and, so you can see this article a little bit better from your screen. I'm going to go ahead and select readability, and then there's this little bird, red bird icon. That's called Helper Bird. And so if you have any students that are dyslexic, this font, it's called Open Dyslexic Font, has been shown to help.
Hey, Jen.
Yes.
Just a quick question. Paula was asking about, are all of these available for Chromebooks and or Chrome, and or, so what is the availability for student use, I guess, maybe to clarify?
They are, so it really depends on what your district. So in Vermilion, for example, students can install Chrome as a browser, and as long as you have a Chrome browser, then you have access to the Chrome Web Store, and our students have the flexibility to actually install any of these to their Chrome browser themselves without any sort of administrative permissions. It's not like that. I realize in other districts, it just depends on what your policies are and how much freedom the students are provided by your IT people. Carrie, do you think that answers that question?
Yes, sorry, I couldn't get to my volume button there, my mute button. I think so. I'll keep monitoring the Q&A to see if there's more questions on that topic. Thanks.
Any other questions so far?
Nope. I think and we'll go through again at the end about the links to the spreadsheet of all these apps and descriptions and so forth. So we'll get to that at the end. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. So you can see what happens to this Open Dyslexic font is that the bottom of the text is a little bit thicker than the top of the text, and that has been shown to help students read a little bit more fluently. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off for now. And so you see they're pretty easy to manipulate. Just, most of the extensions, like I said, are found, their icons are located right within that toolbar. The next one is Dark Reader, and this is an option. Again, readability and clearly have this option as well, where you can actually change the color of the background to make the reading a little bit easier on the eyes. And some students actually prefer like a dark background and light font versus the way that it's usually all default is white background and dark font. So again, this icon right here. And again, you can vary it, the background and the font, but just to show you very simply, that's what it does. So it automatically converts your background to a darker background and your font to lighter to help those readers that have a preference for that. All right, I'm going to the next couple are just going to, we have a lot of students in our district currently who are vision impaired. And so I tried to find a couple extensions that would automatically increase the size of the font on the page and all the images. So I really like this one. It's called Zoomy. And actually, in order to access it, I'm going to go to my More Tools and my Extensions. And you can see the options right here. So I'm going to go ahead and increase. What this will do is if I put in the 200%, which I'm going to, or 250%, it will automatically, any of the web pages I go to, websites I go to, it'll automatically magnify it by that much. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And I'm going to go back to my, let's see. So if you, let's see, there we go. Oops. Not sure why it's doing that, but let me, okay. So this is the original article. And let me see what's going on with this. Let me try to do like, all right, I just piloted this, made sure it worked. Of course, it's not going to. Let me see. Okay, so, well, it doesn't look bigger. I'm just trying to go to an outside website instead of my Edutopia article and see if Zoomy is working right now. Well, let's tell you what, let's try. We'll give that a time to load, and let's try this one right here. This is Zoom, and instead of you programming it and then supposedly working on all websites, this one you just kind of alter right here, right, and then alter the size of the screen, and you can see that working. And it magnifies all the images on your screen. There's also right in here, I mean, you can zoom in your little hamburger icon in the upper right-hand corner. There is a zoom option that you can use as well. But those are just some options. Let me go back to the Yahoo page I tried to open up and see if Zoomy worked for me now. Nope, it didn't. Well, that's technology for you. So let's see. I'll try it one more time. I'm thinking maybe it has something to do with the fact that I'm also on the Google Hangout, but we'll see. Sometimes these some of these extensions can be a little bit glitchy. There's one more I want to show that really isn't, I don't know if it's really considered an accessibility app, but I think it's really cool, especially when you're trying to get your students on the same website that you are on, and instead of them having to type in even a shortened URL, just being able to broadcast that URL to any nearby devices that can pick up the signal. It's called Google Tone, and it is shown in my toolbar here as a blue microphone, and it sends out a auditory signal to all the devices in the room. And as long as your students also have that extension in their browser, their device will pick up their URL. It'll say, okay, you know, Mr. or Mrs. Bengele is on this site. Do you want to be on this site as well? And so instead of them having to type in the tedious process of having them type the URL in, you just simply click Google Tone and it automatically broadcasts, and it's a lot more user friendly. So that's called Google Tone. And of course, like I tried to show you as we're going through these various extensions, using multiple ones in concert together. So I was in a classroom at the high school a couple weeks ago, and after we installed readability in our browser, the one that streamlines your article, I'll show you that again. The students can then go and highlight and then use one of the text-to-speech options. So using multiple apps to make reading easier for students they were very excited about these tools. So it was neat to watch them excited. And I had one come up to me about a week ago and say, Mrs. Bengele, I'm using SpeakIt all the time. I love it. So it's great to get that feedback and to know that these are working for them. Let's see, I have a little bit more time. I'm going to kind of diverge from this world of extensions, and I'm just going to show you some easy tools that probably most of you are already aware of. I just opened up a Google Doc, and it's been out for a couple months now, but in tools, there is a voice typing option. So when you select that, it will allow speech to text, and instead of students having to type, they can simply speak what they would like down on the document. This would help students, obviously, that struggle with writing and so forth. So that voice typing option is available in tools. And there's another add-on that I would like to show, Kzena Mini. And if I open that, it's kind of a feedback tool, but it also allows a person to provide auditory comments and auditory feedback. So if you have like a Google assignment and you're doing a peer review, or you want your student to give some even feedback into their own work and how they felt they did on a particular paragraph, for example. It does require some text on the page. So I'm just going to, and then once it's highlighted, I can say I'm giving feedback, and it'll ask you to verify your email address. And then once you highlight the area of text that you would like to provide feedback on, you have the option, instead of typing in your feedback, of recording what you'd like to say about it. And that, again, if you're having students review their own work or give a peer review instead of them having to type, it's just a nice way for them to put their thoughts, express their thoughts verbally and record it to that document. I'm going to turn this back to Carrie now and make sure that I've answered all questions, give everybody time to ask questions, or maybe there's an app that I didn't go over that you would be interested in checking out.
Okay, thanks, Jen. I will turn my camera back on here. And we did have one other question related to the Chrome piece. Can this be used on iPads, do you know, if they have the Chrome app?
Can this be used on iPads?
Yeah. Jen, you're still, yeah, there's your screen. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Did you want to still share your screen, or?
That's okay.
Okay.
I should know the answer to that, but.
Okay. Yeah, because you guys don't use iPads, right?
Well, we have some, but they're at the elementary level, and these tools I most frequently use with, at the, turn this off, at the, middle, and so, Chrome extensions.
Yeah, I have not used Chrome on an iPad myself either, and I'll have to check with our teachers if they are doing that or not.
So Google is my best friend. So there's, I guess, just gleaning from this article very quickly, that there's some Apple-approved third-party extensions in the browser, and they give a couple examples, for example, like Evernote. So I guess it would really depend on whether or not those apps have been or those extensions have been approved to use within Chrome on your mobile device. So it sounds like maybe a handful are, but I'm not sure if the ones that I shared with you today fall into that category, to be honest. But it's something I can certainly research and get back to you on. If anybody wants to leave their email, their contact information, I'd be happy to get back with you with that.
Yep. Or even post it right to this Google event page, the Google Plus event page. Yeah. I got another one here. Is the Kaizen a comment an audio file or text file?
It's an audio file. And it depends on, so if you can type in comments, that would obviously be saved as a text file, but you can also record comments, which would be audio.
Okay.
And could be viewed as audio file.
Okay. I think that's it for now. If there's any other questions, I think we've gotten through all of them at this point. First of all, I'd like to put a big thanks out there to Jen for presenting and taking the time out of her day to do that and share this with everybody and the recordings and so forth. Similarly, I'd like to thank all the participants in the chat or the Q&A section there. And Jen did provide that document for you. It is editable, so if you have some apps that you want to add to that, you can feel free to do so. The link to that is available on the Google Plus event page, which again was in the original email as the link. We'll see if we can get it added to the YouTube page too, if for those of you that can't get to the Google Plus. And when I send the email out after this session, I will include the evaluation link as well as the link to that document as well for you. So with that in mind, I do appreciate everyone's feedback too. So we will be asking you to complete a brief evaluation that again is also on the Google Plus event page for this, and it will be emailed. Before we go, I did want to share a couple other things just for another minute or so. I'd like to share my screen that shows our calendar of events coming up. And we do have the calendar now embedded on the TILO website. If you have